Hey everyone, Brad here. Let's talk about something real. Being a developer is a lot like being a master craftsman. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your toolbox is empty or filled with rusty, outdated gear, you're going to struggle. You'll work slower, you'll get frustrated, and the final product just won't be as good as it could be. The right tools don't just make the job easier, they completely change the game. They automate the boring stuff. They help you catch mistakes before they become nightmares. They allow you to collaborate with your team without stepping on each other's toes. In today's fast-paced world of tech, using the right tools is non-negotiable if you want to stay relevant and build amazing things. Think about it. The tech landscape is always shifting, always evolving. What was cutting edge last year might be standard practice today. Keeping up isn't just about learning new languages or frameworks. It's also about adopting the tools that the best developers are using to get the job done efficiently. These tools are the secret sauce that helps you turn a complex idea into a working application faster than ever before. They handle the heavy lifting so you can focus on what really matters, solving problems and creating cool stuff. That's why we're going to dive into the essential toolkit for any modern developer. In this article, we're going to break down the 10 must-have tools that are absolutely dominating the scene in 2025. This isn't just a random list. These are the tools that you'll see in job descriptions, the ones your senior devs will expect you to know, and the ones that will genuinely make your life easier. Whether you're a complete beginner just starting your journey, or a seasoned pro looking to update your workflow, this list is for you. We'll cover everything from writing code and managing it to testing and deploying it. These are the pillars of a modern, efficient development process. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. We're going to go through each tool one by one. I'll tell you what it is, what it's used for, and why it's so popular. I'll also throw in some interesting facts or recent updates to keep things fresh. My goal here is to give you a clear, no-nonsense guide to the tools that will help you not just code, but code smarter, faster, and better. By the end of this, you'll have a solid roadmap for building a powerful development toolkit that will serve you well in 2025 and beyond. Let's get started. Alright, first up, let's talk about where the magic happens. Your code editor. For years now, one editor has stood head and shoulders above the rest. Visual Studio Code, or VS Code. This isn't your old-school text editor. It's lightweight, powerful, and made by Microsoft. The best part? It's free. Runs on every major platform. Windows, macOS, Linux. It supports hundreds of languages out of the box like JavaScript, Python, Go, C++. Its popularity? A perfect balance of simplicity and power. VS Code is the Swiss Army knife for developers. At its core, writing and editing code, plus much more. Built-in debugging tools to find and squash bugs. Integrated terminal so you never leave the editor. IntelliSense, smart code completions, parameter info, quick info, making you code faster with fewer typos. Now the game changer for 2025, AI-powered assistance, GitHub Copilot. Copilot integrates so tightly with VS Code, they feel like one tool. It acts like a 24/7 pair programmer. As you type, it suggests entire lines or whole functions. Recent updates. Copilot understands project-wide context, not just the current file. More accurate, more relevant suggestions. Next up, we have a duo that is absolutely fundamental to modern software development. Git and GitHub. Let's start with Git. Git is a version control system. What does that mean? Imagine you're writing a big essay. Essay version 1.doc. Essay final.doc, essay really final this time.doc. Git does that for your code, but in a much smarter way. It lets you track changes to your project files over time so you can see who changed what and when. If you introduce a bug, you can easily roll back to a previous version that worked. It's like a time machine for your code base, and it's an essential safety net. Git is a command line tool, and it works locally on your machine. It's incredibly powerful, but has a bit of a learning curve. That's where GitHub comes in. GitHub is a web-based platform that hosts your Git repositories. Think of Git as the engine and GitHub as the car that makes it easy and enjoyable to use. GitHub gives you a place to store your code online, creating a remote backup. But its real power lies in collaboration. It allows multiple developers to work on the same project simultaneously without chaos. You can create your own copy, a fork of a project, make changes, and then propose to merge your changes back into the main project through something called a pull request. All right, let's move on to a topic that has revolutionized how we build and deploy applications: containers. The two biggest names in this space are Docker and Kubernetes. Let's start with Docker. Have you ever had that classic developer problem? Well, it works on my machine. Docker solves this. It allows you to package up your application along with all of its dependencies, like libraries, system tools, runtime into a single isolated container. This container can then run on any machine that has Docker installed, regardless of the underlying operating system. It guarantees that your application will run the same way everywhere from your laptop to the production server. Now, what happens when your application becomes really popular and you need to run not just one container, but hundreds or even thousands across many different servers? That's where Kubernetes comes in. Kubernetes, often abbreviated as K8s, is a container orchestration platform. Think of Docker as the tool for creating and managing individual containers, and Kubernetes as the tool for managing a whole fleet of containers at scale. It automates the deployment, scaling, and management of containerized applications. If a container crashes, Kubernetes will automatically restart it. If traffic to your website spikes, Kubernetes can automatically scale up the number of containers to handle the load. Kubernetes, originally developed by Google, is now the de facto standard for managing containerized applications in production. An interesting fact: its name comes from the Greek word for helmsman or pilot, which is fitting since it steers your application containers. While it has a reputation for being complex, the power it provides is undeniable. It gives you the ability to run resilient, highly available applications that can self-heal and scale on demand. Let's talk about APIs. APIs, application programming interfaces, are the glue that holds modern software together. They allow different applications to talk to each other. When you use an app on your phone to check the weather, that app is likely talking to a weather services API to get the data. As a developer, especially on the back end, you'll spend a lot of time building and consuming APIs. And the number one tool for working with APIs is Postman. In simple terms, Postman is a platform for building and using APIs. It started as a simple Chrome extension and has since evolved into a comprehensive collaboration platform. Postman's main use is to let you create, test, document your APIs in an easy-to-use graphical interface. Instead of writing a bunch of code just to test an endpoint, build a request, add headers or a request body, send it to your server. You'll get back a beautifully formatted response, making it super easy to see what your API is returning and to debug any issues. Save requests into collections, share them with your team, generate documentation automatically. It streamlines the entire API development lifecycle. Postman makes a complex task much simpler. It abstracts away boilerplate, provides a visual interface that is intuitive for back-end engineers, front-end developers, QA testers. Postbot, the AI assistant inside Postman, write tests, debug requests, generate documentation automatically. AI-driven assistance reduces manual effort. For any developer working with APIs, Postman is indispensable. Develop faster by iterating without a front end. Build higher quality APIs because testing is easy. Improve team collaboration with a shared workspace. Now let's get into automation with CI/CD. Continuous integration, continuous deployment. It automates building your code, testing your code, deploying your code. One of the first names that comes to mind is Jenkins. Jenkins is an open-source automation server, the workhorse behind CI/CD pipelines at thousands of companies. A bit old school next to newer cloud options, but its power, flexibility, massive community support keep it relevant and popular. Jenkins automates repetitive development tasks. Its main job is to watch your code repository like GitHub. Developer pushes a change, Jenkins pulls the code, builds the application, runs automated tests, deploys to a staging server, deploys to a production server. That creates a pipeline with automated checks at every stage, ensures code is integrated and tested, helps catch bugs early, and lets you release features more frequently and reliably. Popularity comes from flexibility. a massive ecosystem of over 1,000 plugins, integrates with almost any tool in your stack. Java application Node.js backend mobile app. Jenkins started as Hudson at Sun Microsystems. After a dispute with Oracle, the community forked and renamed it Jenkins. It has thrived as an open-source, community-driven project. Understanding CI/CD is crucial. Hands-on with Jenkins is a great way to learn. Setup can be more involved than managed solutions, but the knowledge is invaluable. Forces you to think about the entire software delivery lifecycle, code commit to production deployment. Building and managing CI/CD pipelines is a sought-after DevOps skill. Switching gears to the front end, we have to talk about the undisputed king of user interface libraries, React. Developed and maintained by Meta, formerly Facebook. React has been dominating the front-end landscape for years, and it really shows no signs of slowing down. React is not a full-fledged framework like Angular. It's a JavaScript library specifically for building user interfaces. Its core idea: build your UI from small, reusable components. Think of a web page like Lego bricks, navigation bar component, button component, search field component. The main use of React is to build fast, interactive, dynamic single-page applications, or SPAs. In a traditional website, clicking a link reloads the entire page. In a React app, only the components that need to change are updated. This is achieved with a clever feature called the virtual DOM. The virtual DOM is basically a lightweight copy of the actual DOM. When the state of your application changes, React updates the virtual DOM first. React calculates the most efficient way to update the real DOM. Then React applies only those minimal changes. This makes React applications feel incredibly fast and responsive. One big reason for React's popularity is its component-based architecture. It makes code more reusable, organized, and easier to manage, especially in large applications. Its learn once, write anywhere philosophy expanded React beyond the web. With React Native, you can use your React skills to build native mobile apps. An interesting fact: React was first used internally on Facebook's newsfeed in 2011. It was later open-sourced in 2013, which completely changed the direction of front-end development. For front-end or full-stack developers, learning React is practically a requirement. The job market for React developers is massive. Small startups, Netflix, Airbnb. So we've talked about the front end with React. Now let's talk about the back end. For a long time, if you wanted to write server-side code, you had to use a different language than you used on the front end, like Python, Ruby, Java. Then came Node.js. Node.js is not a framework or a language. It's a JavaScript runtime environment. What that means is it allows you to run JavaScript code outside of a web browser, on a server. This was a revolutionary idea because it meant that developers could now use a single language, JavaScript, for both the front end and the back end of their applications. The primary use of Node.js is to build fast, scalable, and data-intensive back-end services and APIs. It uses an event-driven, non-blocking I/O model. The key takeaway is that it's extremely efficient at handling many simultaneous connections. This makes it perfect for applications that involve a lot of real-time communication, like chat applications, online gaming servers, live streaming services. It's also a fantastic choice for building REST APIs, microservices, which are small, independent services that work together to form a larger application. Its speed and efficiency have made it a top choice for modern back-end development. The popularity of Node.js comes down to two main factors: performance and the use of JavaScript. Being able to use the same language across the entire stack, the full stack, simplifies development, reduces context switching for developers, and makes it easier for teams to collaborate. The Node Package Manager, or NPM, is also a huge reason for its success. It's the largest software registry in the world, containing millions of free, reusable code packages that you can easily add to your project. Need to work with a database or add authentication? There's an NPM package for that. An interesting fact about Node.js is that it was created by Ryan Dahl in 2009 because he was frustrated with the limitations of existing web servers in handling concurrent connections. He wanted a better way to build highly scalable network applications, and Node.js was the result. For developers today, learning Node.js is a gateway to full-stack development. It pairs beautifully with front-end frameworks like React, allowing you to build complete modern web applications from top to bottom. So there you have it, a tour of the 10 essential tools that are shaping how we code in 2025. From writing and managing your code with VS Code Git, to containerizing and deploying it with Docker, Kubernetes, and building powerful front-ends and back-ends with React, Node.js. Each of these tools plays a critical role in the modern development workflow. They aren't just trendy, they solve real, tangible problems developers face every single day. They help us write better code, collaborate more effectively, and ship products faster and more reliably than ever before. If you're just starting out, this list might seem intimidating. Don't feel like you need to become an expert in all of them overnight. The goal is to be aware of them and to start learning them one by one. Start with the fundamentals. Get comfortable with your code editor, VS Code. Master the basics of version control, Git and GitHub. From there, branch out depending on your interests. If you love building user interfaces, dive deep into React. If you're fascinated by what happens behind the scenes, start building some APIs with Node.js and testing them with Postman. The key is to embrace continuous learning. The tech world doesn't stand still, and neither should you. By incorporating these tools into your personal projects, you'll not only build practical skills, but also create a portfolio that will impress potential employers. You'll be speaking the language of modern development, and you'll be equipped with the same powerful toolkit that professionals use to build the apps and websites you use every day. These tools are your leverage. They multiply your effort and allow you to build things that would be incredibly difficult, or even impossible, on your own. So my advice to you is to be curious. Pick one tool from this list that you're not familiar with, and spend the next week playing with it. Follow a tutorial, build a small project, and see what it can do. The journey of a developer is a marathon, not a sprint, and every new tool you add to your belt makes you more capable and more valuable. By investing time in learning these tools, you're investing in yourself and your future as a developer. Now stop reading, start coding, and go build something amazing. Thanks for reading, and I'll see you in the next one.